Welcome into John Alexander Gymnasium for tonight's matchup between Jacksonville and Whitehouse. Right now, we're looking at the end of the JV game. There's 49 seconds remaining in the JV game. Currently, Whitehouse is ahead by the score of 42-36 with 49 seconds remaining, and Whitehouse at the line. Stick around on JISDlive.com. We're going to bring you the senior night festivities in just a moment after the JV game concludes. And then, of course, tonight's varsity matchup between your Jacksonville Fighting Indians and the visiting Whitehouse Wildcats. Once again, stick around with us. This is the end of the JV game. And we'll be right back on JISDlive.com. Once again, if you are just joining us, this is a look at the end of the JV game between Jacksonville and Whitehouse. In just a few moments, we will have a look at the Jacksonville Senior Night festivities here at John Alexander Gymnasium. Currently, your score for the junior varsity game with 18 seconds remaining is Jacksonville 38 and Whitehouse 42. That's the end of your junior varsity game with the final score Jacksonville 38 and Whitehouse 42. Once again, Jacksonville and Whitehouse just concluded their junior varsity game with Whitehouse getting the 4-point win in junior varsity here in John Alexander Gymnasium. In just a few moments, we're going to have senior night festivities here for Jacksonville, so stick with us on JISDlive.com as we honor the seniors on our varsity basketball team, coached by Mark Alexander. On the PA mic tonight is Jacksonville High School teacher Don Couples, who does a fantastic job. We'll let him talk us through.
Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Jacksonville High School Athletic Department and Jacksonville High School, we'd like to take a moment to recognize our two outstanding seniors for the class of 2022 here at JHS. Both of these young men have been an integral part of helping us keep the Indian tradition alive and well here at Jacksonville High School. Both these young men have blazed a trail for future generations of Indians to follow, both in the classroom and on the basketball floor. These young men have represented themselves, their community, their school, and their family with pride and dignity. We will never forget you. We will speak of these young men's success in their future endeavors. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome to the floor our two outstanding Indian seniors for 2022, Mr. Calvin Bryant and Mr. Jville. Our first senior is number 0, Jville. Jville is a 4-year veteran here at Jacksonville High School. Jville is being escorted by his mother and father of Shelby and Victor High, and his grandmother, Jeanette Earl. After graduation, Jville plans to continue his education and basketball career at Bossier Parish Community College in Bossier City, Louisiana, where he'll major in business entrepreneurship. Ladies and gentlemen, Jville High. Our next senior is Mr. Calvin Bryant. Calvin is a 2-year veteran here at JHS. He's being escorted this evening by his mother, Melissa Mackey, and his two brothers, Jermaine and Michael Taylor. Also escorting Calvin to the floor is his girlfriend, Christiana Huddleston. After graduating, Calvin plans to attend Southwest Oklahoma State University to play football. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Calvin Bryant. Ladies and gentlemen, having a fine round of applause for our two graduating seniors from Jacksonville.
And that concludes our senior night presentation here from John Alexander Gymnasium. So on behalf of Jacksonville Independent School District. Thank you for joining us in John Alexander Gymnasium for tonight's district contest between your Jacksonville Fighting Indians and the visiting Whitehouse Wildcats. I'm Lee Traylor, class of 2005, and I'm joined by Ryan Travis, class of 2014. Tonight's matchup should be a good one as it features some athletic teams and a major rivalry between these two schools. Ryan, let's take a couple minutes here as the teams take the court. Let the festivities get started in earnest.
starting lineup for the Indians. Once again, number 0, Vito High. Number 5, Coda Kennedy. Number 10, Devin McEwen. Number 11, Kamari Gibson. And number 23, Calvin Bryant. Starting lineup for the Whitehouse Wildcats. Number 0, DeCarlton Wilson. Number 3, Keller Smith. Number 5, Jaden Brandon. Number 10, Easton Mayo. And number 11, Emmanuel Dews. Whitehouse winning the tip-off to get this game underway. Emmanuel Dews with the ball. Gets it over to Jaden Brandon, then back over to Keller Smith. Whitehouse taking their time here, working the ball around the top of the key. Ball comes to Jaden Brandon and back to Keller Smith once again. Contested by Kamari Gibson there, and that ball is going to go off of Jaden Brandon for Whitehouse and out of bounds. Indians ball. Kamari Gibson inbounding to Devin McEwen.
Devin McEwen handling the ball tonight for the Indians with Carmelo Claiborne out sick. If you're just tuning in, regular starter Carmelo Claiborne, one of the big parts of this Jacksonville team, not playing tonight due to an illness. We'll see a lot of that man right there. Devin McEwen takes it in for Jacksonville with the easy layup, putting Jacksonville ahead with the first points on the board, 2-0. Indians out in front with 6:47 remaining in the first period.
Jaden Brandon with the ball for the Wildcats. Over to DeCarlton Wilson. Ball broken up there by Coda Kennedy, but Whitehouse able to recover. And it looks like we're going to have a foul on Calvin Bryant there.
Spooney with the early foul. We'll see how much that plays into this first half.
Ball into DeCarlton Wilson. Now over to Emmanuel Dews and then to Jaden Brandon. Whitehouse making work of these quick passes early in this game. Finds an open man. Emmanuel Dews' shot is off the rim. Rebounded by Devin McEwen, working his way up the court quickly. Calvin Bryant's shot smacked against the backboard. Really surprised that one did not go the Indians' way there.
That really seemed like a goaltend to me, but we're not the referee, nor are we one to second-guess them on the broadcast.
They also called Calvin Bryant for a foul there.
Well, not the way that possession, not the way we wanted that to go for Jacksonville, but as it is, DeCarlton Wilson with the ball for the Wildcats, guarded by Calvin Bryant, gets into the lane, gives it up. Jaden Brandon with the shot attempt for Whitehouse gets fouled and is headed to the line. 2 shots for Mr. Brandon, and as he attempts to put Whitehouse on the board.
That's 3 early fouls here for Calvin Bryant. Sends Jaden Brandon for Whitehouse to the line.
That first one rims out, so Whitehouse still yet to make it onto the board. 5:41 remaining in the first period. Jacksonville ahead in a high-scoring affair so far, 2-0.
Devarian Boyd checking in for Calvin Bryant.
Coda Kennedy with the rebound. Gives it up to Devin McEwen, brings the ball ahead for Jacksonville. Guarded by Emmanuel Dews for Whitehouse.
Devin McEwen over to Coda Kennedy.
Right back to McEwen. McEwen gets past Dews, gets into the lane, kicks it into the corner. Coda Kennedy.
Ball a little high there for Coda to be able to get a shot off.
Jacksonville moves the ball around. Vito High in the lane, gets the shot up.
Will not count.
Jacksonville retains possession on the foul. to Carlton Wilson picking up the foul for the Wildcats as Devin McEwen inbounds the ball for Jacksonville. Gets it to Vito High in the corner. Back to Devin. Dews on the coverage for Whitehouse.
Devin McEwen backing up here, resetting. Pass to Vito, back to Devin, 4-3. Off the backboard, Jacksonville unable to recover.
Dews with the rebound, gives it up.
To Carlton Wilson driving in and fouled by Vito High.
Whitehouse will inbound. Underneath the Jacksonville basket. Dews from the free throw line. That shot a little long, and Devin McEwen on the rebound for Jacksonville as he advances up the court. Over to Vito High, who gets it over to Coda Kennedy, who thought about launching a three, gets into the lane. Kamari Gibson skies for a high pass.
Great hands there from Kamari Gibson. That one very easily could have gone over his head.
Jacksonville's had a few wild possessions to start this game. Speak it into existence. You got to think Coach Mark Alexander is going to talk to his guys about just calming it down a little bit.
Yeah, halfway into this first period here, Jacksonville with the 2-0 lead. Usually by now, Jacksonville having a little more luck scoring.
In one respect, you would want to score more points, but in another, they're pitching a shutout right now. I mean, this keeps up, and they'll come away with the victory. I think Coach Mark Alexander would take an 8-0 final score. Might not be the way you draw it up, but
2 points per quarter might not be the most exciting basketball
It might
game.
not. It might not. Devin McEwen with the ball for Jacksonville, guarded by Dews. Gets it over to Coda Kennedy. Gets into the lane.
Puts that one up off the rim, rebounded by Easton Mayo.
To Carlton Wilson bringing the ball ahead for the Wildcats. Pull up three, rims out.
Vito
Still
with
no
the
luck.
rebound. Working his way over to Devin McEwen, driving in. And that one is going to go off the leg of Keller Smith there.
And
Indians ball.
So far, the Wildcats can't buy a bucket. And Jacksonville's been able to find their way into one bucket. Vito High with the ball for the Indians.
And that basket will count.
And
one
opportunity for Vito High. Maybe this will help calm the game down a little bit. Breaking the action. Got another bucket. Got the and one. 5-0 Jacksonville is your score with 3 minutes remaining in the first period.
To Carlton Wilson bringing the ball up the court for Whitehouse. Over back to Carlton Wilson. Jaden Brandon having to throw that one back out.
Gets the ball over to Easton Mayo, back to Wilson.
Wilson 4-3 off the rim.
2 possessions in a row where Wilson has pulled up from 3 and the shot has looked good, just to be a little bit long. Whitehouse does retain possession, but Keller Smith's shot attempt is blocked by Kamari Gibson out of bounds. Whitehouse will inbound and again try to get a first bucket.
Bryson Hawkins checking into the game for Whitehouse, and not entirely sure what happened there, if it never came in or.
I think it went off of Devin McEwen's leg is what it looked like to me. I could be wrong. But Devin McEwen guarding the inbound there as it is. Easton Mayo with the ball gets it over to Bryson Hawkins. Gets it back to Emmanuel Dews.
Emmanuel Dews 4-3.
After not being able to buy a bucket earlier, early in the game. Whitehouse gets the three-pointer, which is answered
Vito High
immediately by Vito High. So that 5-point margin gets right back.
Great shot there from Vito. And I think Whitehouse called a timeout.
I believe so.
I'm not even sure our coaches knew that there was a timeout there.
Well, as it is in this break in the action, Vito High with 6 of your first 8 points for Jacksonville. Emmanuel Dews with the three-pointer for Whitehouse. 22 seconds remain in this first period, and neither team yet to break the double-digit margin, 8-3.
Jaden Boyd checking into the game for the Indians.
And we talked earlier about how Jacksonville, there is the potential for this team to be looking forward to Friday for a possible rematch with Lufkin to decide district if both Lufkin and Jacksonville win here tonight. But these rivalry games throw the records out the window, and Whitehouse early proving that. A 5-point margin. You would imagine the Wildcats would have taken that after the first period. We got there in kind of a weird way.
Bryson Hawkins driving in. That layup
McEwen with the rebound.
No good.
Over to Vito High.
Driving in. And off the rim, but that will send him to the free throw line.
I think they're going to get Jaden Brandon there for the shooting foul, and Vito goes right back to the line looking to add to his point total, which currently stands at 6.
Vito's first free throw is up and in.
Second one off the rim, bounces around. Vito gets it right back over to Jaden Boyd. Ball moves its way around. Dakota Kennedy gets into the lane, puts it up. Soft touch around the rim.
That'll bring the score to 11-3 here. Minute 50 and counting left in this first period. Bryson Hawkins for the Wildcats gets it over to Max Clemens, who puts up a shot, and Devarian Boyd with the rebound. Over to Devin McEwen, working his way down to Vito High. Back to McEwen. Driving in, as we've seen him do so many times, and that shot is up and rolls around the rim. Jacksonville unable to get the rebound. Jaden Brandon with the rebound for the Wildcats.
Bryson Hawkins over to Max Clemens, guarded by Vito High. Over to Jaden Brandon, who pulls up from 3, and it's good. That's going to bring your score to 11-6. Jacksonville out in front with 1 minute remaining in the first period. A low-scoring affair here from John Alexander Gymnasium.
Devin McEwen with the ball over to Dakota Kennedy for 3, and that one is good. Bringing the score to 14-6.
So far, both buckets that Whitehouse has scored in this game have been three-pointers, and each time Jacksonville on the very next possession has answered back. One of those from Vito High and one of those from Dakota Kennedy.
Bryson Hawkins puts up the 3, and that one is good.
Suddenly, nobody can miss. We went from a 2-0 score for most of this game to all of a sudden everybody's putting up a 3 and everybody is hitting them. Devin McEwen with the ball for Jacksonville.
20 seconds. And counting. Ball gets to Vito High. Looking to shoot, drives in, pulls up the jumper, and it's in. That'll bring the score to 16-9. 5 seconds left here in this first period. Bryson Hawkins puts up a shot from way downtown. It is off the rim. Dakota Kennedy with the rebound, and that will end the first period. Jacksonville leading the Wildcats 16-9 after 1. And Lee, it seems like the Indians have adjusted to no Carmelo Claiborne now.
It seems like it. Vito High looks like he's going to be a big part of the scoring burden for the Indians. He's already got 9 points, 9 of Jacksonville's 16. And with Carmelo out, you got to imagine that Vito is going to have a high point total tonight. He's already well on his way. And really the second half of that first period seemed to kind of calm everybody down for both teams, really. The first half of that first period, it was interesting. Neither team could score. 2-0 was our score for a long time to begin this game. But as we made our way through the first period, it seemed like both teams settled in. Jacksonville has raced out to a 16-9 lead here at John Alexander Gymnasium.
Indian basketball to begin quarter number 2.
Ryan McCowan checking into the ball game for the Indians. Vito High inbounding to Devin McEwen.
Joining Ryan McCowan, Devin McEwen, and Vito High on the court for Jacksonville are Jaden Boyd, who currently has the ball, and Devarian Boyd, big number 21. That ball somehow gets into Vito High, who somehow finishes through the contact, and one opportunity for Vito High.
Jacksonville looking to take the 10-point lead here with Vito High's free throw. Off the rim. Ball rebounded by Isaac Lacey.
Bryson Hawkins with the ball for Whitehouse, over to Max Clemens, back to Jaden Brandon.
That ball off the fingertips of Ryan McCowan is going to go out for the Wildcats.
Good defense there from Ryan McCowan.
Number 23, Dylan Acker checking into the ball game for the Wildcats. Bryson Hawkins with the ball for Whitehouse. Over to Acker. Back to Hawkins. Ball from Isaac Lacey is up and in.
The bank three. We've seen a couple of those here in the last few games.
Whitehouse, it seems, wanting to shoot from three every time they get down the floor right now.
Vito High with the ball for Jacksonville, guarded by Bryson Hawkins for Whitehouse. Vito with the step-back three attempt is a little bit short. And Whitehouse will let that ball go out of bounds. Carlton Wilson comes back into the game for the Wildcats.
As well as Keller Smith, and it looks like
Timeout.
Whitehouse is going to take a timeout here. Indians leading the Wildcats here in the second quarter, 18-12. Whitehouse with 4 made buckets, all from three. Not looking like they're going to try to drive in and get the layups today.
No, they've had a few opportunities closer to the basket, and they've had a few open shots, but those haven't been falling, and I mean, why not? Why not shoot the three if it's falling, and especially against a team that has a significantly better record in the last district game for Whitehouse.
Dylan Acker with the ball for the Wildcats. Over to Bryson Hawkins, who looks for Acker.
Throws it back out.
Thrown back out to Vito High. Devin McEwen with the ball, turning, going in for the layup. Off the rim, but fouled.
That'll send Devin McEwen to the line for Jacksonville. Looks like Bryson Hawkins going to pick up the foul for Whitehouse. Devin looking to add to Jacksonville's lead, which currently stands at 6 points with 6:31 remaining in the second period. Your score is Jacksonville 18 and Whitehouse 12.
That first free throw from Devin McEwen off the front of the rim. Second free throw from McEwen is up and in. To Carlton Wilson, bringing the ball up the floor for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Keller Smith, over to Acker. Whitehouse working the ball around the top of the key. And
pretty finish.
Spoke too soon because DeCarlton Wilson drives in 4-2.
Gets to the basket, gets it to fall. Jacksonville works it around. Devin McEwen pump fakes, open three, no good. Vito High with the rebound for Jacksonville. Jaden Boyd, wide open three attempt, doesn't fall. Dews with the rebound for Whitehouse.
Keller Smith from three is a little short. That ball is going to go out for the Indians.
Jermaine Taylor comes onto the court for Jacksonville as Devarian Boyd goes off. We talk about it every game. Jermaine Taylor's just a sophomore. This is a young Jacksonville team that's had a lot of success. Jermaine Taylor, just a sophomore, but he is the strongest player on the court. You'll see it here tonight. If he gets his hands on the ball, it is staying in his possession.
McEwen taking his time, gets it over to Jaden Boyd, across the court to Ryan McCowan. Back to McEwen, over to Vito, 4-3, off the front of the rim, rebounded by Emmanuel Dews. And nothing seeming to fall right now for the Indians.
Keller
so
Smith
far here
brings
in
the ball up for
second
Whitehouse. Emmanuel Dews now with the ball over to Acker. Back to Smith. Easton Mayo with the good pass, but Dylan Acker can't finish at the bucket. And Jacksonville will take over as Kamari Gibson comes on for Jaden Boyd, and Gibson will inbound to Devin McEwen, who's going to bring the ball up for Jacksonville. With just under 5 minutes left in the first half, Jacksonville is ahead 19-14 over the Wildcats.
Devin McEwen, bounce pass broken up there by DeCarlton Wilson. Whitehouse able to recover.
Emmanuel Dews receives the ball, guarded by Ryan McCowan. Back over to Wilson. Devin McEwen on defense for Jacksonville. Dews turns the corner, tries to kick it over to Smith, but Vito High with the active hands lays it in at the other end. 21-14. And Vito High is slow to get up.
Looks like he might have landed a little bit wrong. He was pushed in the back there by Keller Smith, but no foul seemed to be called. Max Clemens checking into the ballgame for the Wildcats. DeCarlton Wilson working the ball up the floor here for the Wildcats. Over to Dylan Acker, fouled by Jermaine Taylor.
Max Clemens inbounds the ball over to DeCarlton Wilson for Whitehouse. Devin McEwen on defense for Jacksonville. Good defense for Jacksonville as Kamari Gibson's able to just take the ball away. Devin McEwen over to Dakota Kennedy. Tries to turn the corner. Gets it over to Ryan McCowan. Kamari Gibson just resets. Gets it over to Devin McEwen. Taking his time, sizing up his defender as Max Clemens is on defense for Whitehouse. Devin on the pull-up. Doesn't fall.
They're going to call Jermaine Taylor for a push in the back there as he was going up for the rebound.
2 quick fouls for Jermaine. Not the sequence of events that Jacksonville would like to see on those few possessions as Whitehouse has the ball. Acker with the ball, guarded by Jermaine.
Over to DeCarlton Wilson.
Ryan McCowan on defense for Jacksonville. Now Jermaine Taylor on the switch. Devin McEwen on defense. That ball, that three-point attempt by Max Clemens does not fall, and Jacksonville is headed the other way. Devin McEwen.
Turning offensive foul there on Devin McEwen.
Got several calls going against Jacksonville these last few possessions as we reach 3 minutes left in the first half. Jacksonville has a 7-point lead against Whitehouse, 21-14, as DeCarlton Wilson brings the ball up for the Wildcats, gives it over to Easton Mayo.
Over to Acker, back to Wilson.
Jermaine Taylor on defense. Acker under the basket, wide open. Can't finish, and Ryan McCowan with the rebound gets it over to Kamari Gibson. Running ahead for Jacksonville, McEwen in the lane, lays it in. 23-14 is your score with 2:30 remaining in the first half. That's the kind of sequence that we're used to seeing from Jacksonville. Let's see if they can string a few more of those together.
Errant pass there from DeCarlton. Wilson will go out for the Indians. Kamari Gibson set to inbound.
Also going out for the Indians, Devin McEwen, as Vito High subs back into the game, and he's going to bring the ball ahead for Jacksonville as they look to add to their 9-point lead.
Dakota Kennedy's pass is over to Vito High. Gets his own rebound. Basket counts, and he goes to the line.
This is at least the third and one opportunity for Vito High early in this game. See if he can take advantage. And he does.
26-14, Jacksonville over Whitehouse. DeCarlton Wilson making his way up the floor for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Emmanuel Dews. Dakota Kennedy on the defense there.
Wilson with the ball for Whitehouse, guarded by Vito High. Now the switch, Jermaine Taylor. Good defense again. Kamari Gibson has done that a couple times. He attempted the touchdown pass to Vito High, but that's broken up by Easton Mayo for Whitehouse. So Jacksonville will take over an inbound with 1:41 remaining in the first half. They enjoy a 12-point lead against the Wildcats, 26-14. Jacksonville out in front.
Kamari Gibson inbounding the ball to Vito High. And things on offense here looking a little different for the Indians tonight with no Carmelo Claiborne. Have not seen Vito High in the point guard position very often.
Yeah, for sure. Usually Devin McEwen steps up when Carmelo sits and is the primary ball handler, but Devin getting a break here and on the bench, and so Vito High is your primary ball handler for the moment as Ryan McCowan has the ball, gets it over to Vito High, who's dribbling it out.
Kamari Gibson with the screen. Vito working it around. 3 Wildcats on him. Not able to drive in. Pulls up for 3 from distance. Off the rim. Ryan McCowan tips that ball to Dakota Kennedy, but unable to come down with the rebound. But off Wildcats and Indians ball.
Looks like Easton Mayo a little slow to get up for the Wildcats, so we'll get a sub as Isaac Lacey comes in for the Wildcats.
Vito High set to inbound the ball. Gets it to Ryan McCowan. Foul there on Jermaine Taylor. DeVarian Boyd checking into the ball game as Jermaine Taylor goes off after that foul.
That's Jermaine's third foul.
Bryson Hawkins brings the ball up the court for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Max Clemens and out to Dylan Acker. Guarded by DeVarian Boyd. Back to Hawkins.
Those fouls are something to keep in mind. Jermaine already got 3. Calvin came in early and picked up 3 really quick fouls. So if Whitehouse can get this game close again, that second half, those fouls could loom large.
On the rebound, brings it up the court to DeVarian Boyd, who's able to lay that one in for 2. Bryson Hawkins with the ball for Whitehouse. Vito High looking for the steal there. Unable to do so. Gets the ball over to Wilson, whose shot is off the rim. Rebounded by Max Clemens, and he is fouled.
2 seconds remaining in the first half. As Whitehouse looks to get a quick bucket to cut into this Jacksonville lead.
The Carlton Wilson sets it inbound for Whitehouse. Gets it to
Acker.
Acker, whose shot is up and no good. And that'll do it.
Doesn't fall for Vito High.
And that'll do it for the first half of play here from John Alexander Gym. Jacksonville with a 28-14 lead over Whitehouse. And Jacksonville finding success here without one of their star players, Carmelo Claiborne. And it seems like everybody is stepping up to fill the shoes here tonight. We've seen Devin McEwen playing point guard for most of that first half, but he did go off towards the end, and Vito High steps up and does the ball handling duties for the Indians. And for your halftime entertainment, we do have the JHS Twirlers.
You have your Jacksonville High School Twirlers under the direction of Miss Breanne G. for Jacksonville High School. There you have your Jacksonville High School Majorettes once again under the direction of Ms. Brianne G. with an electric performance here from John Alexander Gymnasium, Ryan Travis.
That it was.
The Jacksonville High School Twirlers always do a great job. Miss G has a great program and also does a great job. Speaking of a great job, I'm going to take this opportunity to shout out a few students who are helping both here at John Alexander Gymnasium for tonight's basketball games and simultaneously in the Tomato Bowl for tonight's soccer games. We have Aubrey McCowan, Angel De La Luz, George Harrington, Dakota Jones, Cornell Jordan, Alexis Martinez, Jose Rodriguez, better known as Chava, and Alicia Torres. Once again, thank you to all these students. They do a great job. None of this would be possible without the work of plenty of students throughout the year. And in spite of their teacher, they do a fantastic job in the audio-video production program at Jacksonville High School. Once again, if you're tuned in, we do appreciate you joining us here at John Alexander Gymnasium via JISDlive.com. Received a few texts from one Mike Traylor, JHS class of 1978. Seems to be enjoying the broadcast. Once again, in spite of what he has to listen to, we appreciate Mr. Traylor tuning in. He did mention in one of his texts that he thinks after watching this team for a few times and how they're playing tonight, even with Carmelo not on the floor, that this might be one of the best Jacksonville High School basketball teams that he's ever seen play. There's certainly been a few of those. We mentioned pregame, Brent Kelly coached a team that started 32-0. He coached another team that reached the semifinal stages of the 4A playoffs. But I tend to agree with Mr. Traylor. This team, when they play their best, I think they could take any of those previous Jacksonville High School teams. Now, once you start getting back into like the 50s and stuff like that, I don't know about those. There's some teams that did some really great things in the history of Jacksonville basketball.
Yep.
And I tend to hold my tongue. Some of those teams, my uncle Martin Swanson played on, and Bud Farmer, good friend and cousin of mine. Once we invited Martin and his friends to come play basketball with us at the high school gym, because Bud and I played a lot of basketball, and we knew Martin and his friends did it well. And they were kind of an advanced age at the time, I guess I would say. And so we thought, we'll invite these guys down, but it'll be fun for them, and they can watch us, run around and play basketball. And so Martin brought 4 of his friends, and they proceeded to absolutely wipe the floor with us. We thought we were pretty great, and I mean a lot of those guys played on some of those teams from back in the day in Jacksonville that really had a ton of success for the Indians. And man, if you let one of them get a shot off, it was going in. It was absolutely incredible. So I was humbled that day, and I remain humble. So I can't say that this team would beat those teams, but this team will certainly stand up with a lot of them.
we do have an excellent basketball team here at Jacksonville High School. And it will be interesting to see how far that they go in the playoffs this year.
Yeah, this is a much different team than that 32-0 team. That team was, it had some size. It was real explosive and athletic. Not a ton of, it wasn't the same level of shooting prowess that this team had. And that kind of was their undoing in the playoffs. So you're absolutely right. I can't wait to see how this team fares once the regular season is over. If they make it out of here with a win tonight, if they end up playing this Friday, I can't wait to see that matchup. The third time that they'll face Lufkin, another really, really good team. This Jacksonville team just certainly has impressed thus far into the season, and you're right, it will be a lot of fun to see just how far they go.
With a 28-14 halftime lead, you would think that the Indians should be able to finish this game off here in the second half. And we do see that Friday game. But I think it is important to note that on Friday, when they went to Lufkin and played Lufkin at their home court, Jacksonville was down by 15 and was able to shut Lufkin out in, I think, the last...
Lufkin had one bucket in the fourth quarter.
In the fourth quarter.
They scored 2 points.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter. If you watched that game, if you were there, if you listened to it on the radio, Jacksonville was not going to win that game after 3 quarters. Jacksonville was down by double digits for the entirety of that game. It just looked like one of those games where you just resign yourself to the fact that tonight's not our night. Nothing is falling for us. Everything is falling for them. And we're just going to have to go home and be happy with our second place finish. And that is absolutely not what happened in the fourth quarter.
A 22-2 run.
22-2 run
is almost unheard of.
It was fun to watch. That is absolutely for sure. Jacksonville really turned it on defense in that fourth quarter, obviously, to hold a team to 2 points. Lufkin went ice cold. Jacksonville could hit every single shot they put up. They were really clutch with their free throws down the stretch as well. What an impressive win by this team. What an impressive job by Coach Alexander as well. As we get started here in your second half from John Alexander Gymnasium, Jacksonville with the ball to start as Vito High already gets the bucket, kicks it out to Coda Kennedy for 3. And Kamari Gibson controls the ball, gets it over to Devin McEwen. Back to Coda. One more try. That one doesn't fall either. Jaden Brandon with the rebound, but Coda with the steal. Puts it in. Couldn't hit the 3, but gets the steal and lays it in. 30-14 is your score. Jacksonville ahead of Whitehouse to start the second half as Calvin Bryant is back on the court for the Indians.
Foul there on Jaden Brandon of Whitehouse. That'll give the Indians the ball once again, and that is his fourth personal foul.
Several players here tonight
racking
for both
up
teams.
Some fouls, yeah.
Already in serious foul trouble. You've got Calvin Bryant and Jermaine Taylor both with 3 fouls for Jacksonville, and now Jaden Brandon picking up his 4th, and he's been a big part of what Whitehouse has had success with so far.
He has. Vito High driving in here.
Tied up under the bucket. Jump ball. Vito High, Isaac Lacey get tied up under the basket there, and Whitehouse will take over as Lacey will inbound to DeCarlton Wilson.
Wilson working his way up the court for the Wildcats. That pass is broken up by Devin McEwen and Coda Kennedy.
I think we're going to get Devin for a kick ball there as DeCarlton Wilson's going to inbound for Whitehouse and gets the ball right back from Mr. Lacey. What a pass from Wilson into Lacey. Rebound Acker.
Out to Smith. pulls up for the shot, rebounded by Lacey once again. Acker puts up the shot.
Smith
Whitehouse
finally gets it to fall for Whitehouse, and the foul, and one opportunity for Keller Smith.
Whitehouse working for every point they can get, but that one will not count as there was a foul there on to Carlton Wilson. And that'll get the Indians the ball. Devin McEwen working it up the court to Coda Kennedy inside for Calvin Bryant. Puts it up off the rim. Emmanuel Dews with the rebound for the Wildcats. The Carlton Wilson working his way back up the floor for Whitehouse. Putting the move there on Calvin Bryant. Gets it into Acker over to Isaac Lacey. That shot is no good. McEwen with the rebound down to Vito High, who lays it in.
Great pass by Devin McEwen to get it ahead to Vito High, who was sprinting out behind the defense and lays it in at the bucket. 32-16, Jacksonville doubling up on Whitehouse right now with 5:40 remaining in the third period.
Dews with the ball for Whitehouse. Coda Kennedy trying to get the steal.
Going to get popped for the foul. Wilson will inbound for Whitehouse.
First foul there for Coda Kennedy.
McEwen guarding the inbound for Jacksonville. Wilson gives it up. Lacey, the recipient of that pass. Gets it back to Carlton Wilson.
Wilson working his way down that right side. Gets it out to Lacey for three. That one's off the rim. Rebounded by Vito High and fouled by Dylan Acker.
That's his first foul as well. Jacksonville will keep possession. Kamari Gibson inbounds it to Devin McEwen, who's back to handling the ball, being the primary ball handler for Jacksonville. Once again, Carmelo Claiborne, Jacksonville's usual primary ball handler, out sick tonight. Devin McEwen and Vito High sharing that responsibility. Vito's shot doesn't fall there. Sorry, didn't mean to step on your toes. What a pass as Isaac Lacey is wide open under the bucket for Whitehouse.
Kamari Gibson gets the ball into Vito High. Devin McEwen now working his way up the court for the Indians. Taking some time here, setting up a play. It looks like Kamari Gibson back to McEwen.
That recent Isaac Lacey bucket is going to make your score 32-18. Jacksonville still out in front as
Calvin Bryant for three. That went off the rim.
Rimmed
Jacksonville
right out.
trying to come up with the rebound. Dylan Acker finally comes up with it, up to the Carlton Wilson driving in, and it looks like he will be fouled. On Calvin Bryant, and that's going to be Calvin Bryant's fourth personal foul. Calvin Bryant may need to play a little more conservatively. We do have 4 minutes left here in the third quarter.
And this is senior night, and Calvin's one of our two seniors on this team. You'd like to see him get as many minutes as possible tonight. He's also just a big part of the team. Those aren't token minutes. Calvin does a great job when he's out there. So you're right, we want to see him be able to play tonight. As Wilson hits the free throw for Whitehouse, bringing your score 32-19.
McEwen with the ball for the Indians. Gets it over to Coda Kennedy. Back to McEwen, over to Kamari Gibson, who is wide open. Gets it into Vito, who is up and in. Foul on Whitehouse. That will send Vito to the line once again.
Vito continues to be able to finish through contact, going to the line for an and-one opportunity for at least the fourth time tonight.
He is extremely good about getting those balls to fall.
I think he's just extremely good is probably enough to say. He's already hit a few threes tonight. He's proven he's effective from outside and inside. He's made a handful of really big defensive plays tonight. Vito, of course, is slated to play at the next level.
Ball over to Dylan Acker. That one goes off of Tristan Smith, out for Indians ball. Kamari Gibson set to inbound to Devin McEwen, working his way up quickly to an open Coda Kennedy, and that ball is going to hit off the rim. Vito High trying to come up with a rebound. It's broken up by Coda Kennedy. Kamari Gibson out to Vito High, driving in, steps to his left, puts up a shot, and that is in. They'll bring the score to 37-19 with 3 minutes and 22 seconds left here in this third period. Dylan Acker with the ball for Whitehouse, broken up by DeVarian Boyd. Coda Kennedy with the hustle down here to get that ball back to Boyd, puts up the shot. That one rolls all the way around the rim. And Whitehouse able to throw that ball off of Devin McEwen, out of bounds, and Whitehouse ball. The Carlton Wilson for the Wildcats, working his way up the court now. Passes it over to Tristan Smith, who gets it to Acker. Flips it over to the Carlton Wilson inside for Max Clemens, who will be fouled by Devin McEwen. That's his second personal for the game. That'll send Max Clemens to the line for Whitehouse. First free throw for Clemens is off the front of the rim. Second free throw from Clemens is off the rim, rebounded by Jaden Boyd, who gets it over to Devin McEwen, working his way up the court. Looking for Jaden Boyd, over to DeVarian Boyd, driving in, puts up the shot, and fouled.
Sorry for stepping away. I'm back now. I just got finished talking to JHS student Alexis Martinez Orozco, who is largely in charge of tonight's production of the JHS soccer games, the girls' soccer games in the Tomato Bowl, and they're wrapping up there, and he was just checking in. It sounds like everything went well there. Once again, all of our live streams on JISDlive.com for Jacksonville Independent School District would not be possible without the help of multiple students, including the aforementioned Mr. Martinez.
DeVarian Boyd with some good free throws there. To Carlton Wilson, working the ball down the court, gets it to Max Clemens. Driving inside. Fouled pretty hard there as he was driving in.
It was a hard foul. It's going to be Coda's second, I believe.
It's Coda Kennedy's second personal foul. To Carlton Wilson, set to inbound the ball for the Wildcats.
As far as team fouls go, Jacksonville has 4 and Whitehouse has 5. Max Clemens handling the ball for the Wildcats. DeVarian Boyd on defense for Jacksonville.
Max Clemens with the 3, and it is in.
39-22, your score as Jacksonville enjoys a 17-point lead against the Wildcats. Just under 2 minutes remaining here in the third period. Devin McEwen handling the ball for Jacksonville, gets it over to Jaden Boyd. Back to McEwen.
Gets it over to DeVarian Boyd in the corner. Back out to Jaden Boyd, who pulls up for 3. That one rattles off the rim. Rebounded by Tristan Smith, and to Carlton Wilson once again working the ball up the court for Whitehouse. Gets it in to Dylan Acker, back out to Wilson. McEwen on defense for the Indians, and that shot from Wilson is up and in. That'll bring your score 39-24. A little over a minute here left in the third quarter.
Devin McEwen with the ball for Jacksonville, guarded by DeCarlton Wilson. for Whitehouse. Devin gets it over to Coda Kennedy. Turns the corner back to Devin. Vito High in the corner. Good move at the basket. Easy lay-in. Vito High adds to his point total and brings Jacksonville to 41, Whitehouse 24 with 44 seconds here in the third period.
Dylan Acker with the ball, top of the key, looking for Wilson, and he will find him. Max Clemens with the ball for Whitehouse. Back to Wilson, making his way around that right side. Over to Tristan Smith, driving in. Nothing doing against Jaden Boyd, who gets the ball. Devin McEwen quickly making his way up the court. Vito High for three, and that one rolls around the rim. Whitehouse with the rebound, working his way up the court is Max Clemens. Nothing doing, and that will be the end of the third quarter. So at the end of three, the Indians lead the Wildcats 41-24. A 17-point lead is looking pretty good here for the Indians as they have extended that lead from halftime.
Yeah, and this Jacksonville team still hasn't played as cleanly as we've seen them play. They still haven't been quite as lethal as far as just filling up the bucket as we've seen them. So this just kind of tells you how good this Jacksonville team is, where they've had an off night tonight, and they enjoy a 17-point lead leading into the final period.
It could also just be playing Whitehouse the last time these two met.
It could.
It was 55-33 final. So.
And they're down Carmelo Claiborne, who's a huge part of this team.
Definitely.
So
can't deny that when Carmelo Claiborne does most of the ball handling for the Indians.
And a decent chunk of the scoring as well between he and Vito High. That represents two high-volume scorers for the Indians. And to not have Carmelo tonight, it's definitely shown up here on the court. Even though they enjoyed the lead, you can really feel his absence. So
Ryan McCowan and who else?
Your current Indians on the floor: Ryan McCowan, Devin McEwen, Jaden Boyd, Coda Kennedy, and Jermaine Taylor, as Devin has the ball. Gets it over to Coda Kennedy. Jaden Boyd with the screen. Ball gets back to Devin. Over to Ryan in the corner. Back to Devin. Good defense being played by Whitehouse on this possession as Devin gets the ball over to Coda. Foul called against Tristan Smith.
Devin McEwen set to inbound the ball here for the Indians. Gets it to Ryan McCowan inside to Jermaine Taylor.
Jermaine's pass
a little
just
high.
a tiny bit high. .7:23 remaining here in the game. Jacksonville enjoys a 41-24 lead over Whitehouse as Whitehouse inbounds the ball. Max Clemens gets the ball over to Bryson Hawkins. Now over to Dews and finally to Brandon. Moving the ball around here are the Wildcats.
Dews gets the ball over to Lacey, back over to Jaden Brandon and Bryson Hawkins. Whitehouse working the ball around quite well here. Bryson Hawkins trying to make his way inside, nothing doing. Ball comes out to Max Clemens. Back to Hawkins, who pulls up for the shot. Lacey with the rebound. And Jermaine Taylor gets the steal.
Fouled at the bucket. Kind of a wild possession there on both ends. Jermaine able to come up with a steal after Ryan McCowan went for it earlier. We'll see if Jermaine can add to his point total here from the line for Jacksonville.
Jermaine Taylor's first free throw is up and in.
And as we've seen before, Jermaine's a really good free throw shooter. Several of those on this team. That's an important part of Jacksonville's success, is oftentimes their opponent really lags behind when it comes to free throw shooting. Not because of any failings on an opponent's part, but just because Jacksonville is that good from the line. They really take advantage of those opportunities when they show up.
Lacey over to Hawkins for three, and that one is in. Bryson Hawkins having some luck tonight from the three-point line. Devin McEwen with the ball for the Indians. Gives the ball to Ryan McCowan. Over to Jaden Boyd. Back to McCowan. Pulls up for the shot. Off the rim. Rebounded by Isaac Lacey. Bryson Hawkins with the ball for Whitehouse.
Hawkins guarded by Devin McEwen for Jacksonville. Now Coda Kennedy slides over. Hawkins pulls up from three. Ryan McCowan with the rebound for Jacksonville. He brings the ball ahead and hands it off to Devin McEwen, who pushes ahead, kicks it over. Jaden Boyd, three-point attempt is up, rattles out. You can just feel the crowd willing that one to go in.
Bryson Hawkins with the ball for Whitehouse. Taking his time, letting his guys set up, find some room. Gets the ball over to Emmanuel Dews, who is fouled by Coda Kennedy. That is his third personal for the ball game. Isaac Lacey set to inbound the ball for the Wildcats. Gets it over to Bryson Hawkins.
Jacksonville with 5 team fouls versus Whitehouse's 7. So Jacksonville in the bonus.
Hawkins with the ball on that right side, guarded by Ryan McCowan, looking in, pulls up for the jumper, and off the rim, but not before he is fouled. That'll be Ryan McCowan's first foul of the ball game. Bryson Hawkins' first free throw is up and in.
5 minutes remaining in the game. Jacksonville ahead 43-28 over the Wildcats.
Kamari Gibson checks back into the ball game for the Indians. Bryson Hawkins' second free throw is off the rim, rebounded by Jermaine Taylor.
Vito High with the ball. Your lineup for Jacksonville currently is Vito High, Jaden Boyd, Kamari Gibson, Jermaine Taylor, and Ryan McCowan, who currently has the ball. Gets it back to Vito High. Over to Kamari Gibson.
Gibson back to Vito. Over to Ryan McCowan, looking
Gets
inside for Jermaine Taylor.
Makes
a
what
good
a
move
finish.
and in.
There's some of that strength we talked about earlier as Jermaine able to finish through the contact at the rim.
Bryson Hawkins for Whitehouse, sprinting down the court and laying that one in.
Answer.
Brings the score at 45-30. Vito High's three is up and short. Jaden Boyd trying to get that one back in. The ball will go out for Whitehouse.
Tristan Smith set to inbound for Whitehouse, as DeCarlton Wilson will bring it up the court for the Wildcats, and Kamari Gibson meets him to provide the defense for Jacksonville.
Tristan Smith over to DeCarlton Wilson, working inside.
Pretty finish.
Able to lay that one in. Jaden Boyd over to Vito High, working up the court quickly, driving in. That one is up, but Jermaine Taylor gets the rebound and is able to lay that one in. That'll bring the score Jacksonville 47, Whitehouse 32, 3:45 and counting here left in this fourth quarter.
Jermaine Taylor with a couple back-to-back big-time offensive rebounds and finishes.
Jaden Boyd coming up with the rebound there for the Indians. Kamari Gibson gets it over to Vito High. And Indians probably going to start slowing this one down.
As we reach inside of 3.5 minutes remaining in the game, and Jacksonville currently enjoying a 15-point lead. You might be right. Jermaine Taylor with the ball inside, tied up by Tristan Smith for the Wildcats.
Foul there on 21, Tristan Smith.
And since Jacksonville's in the bonus, that'll send Jermaine Taylor to the line for Jacksonville.
That is Tristan Smith's third personal foul. Jermaine Taylor's free throw is off the rim. Max Clemens with the rebound for Whitehouse.
Kamari Gibson on defense for Jacksonville. Gets it over to Emmanuel Dews. Back to
Clemens' shot is short. Vito High's passed up to Jermaine Taylor, and that one off the rim. Nothing doing there for Jermaine Taylor.
Sometimes those are the hardest shots when they're wide open. Vito again,
back to Jermaine.
a chance for redemption.
And he gets it.
Jermaine able to lay that one in, stretching your lead. Jacksonville 49 and Whitehouse 32 with 2.5 minutes remaining. Max Clemens with the ball for the Wildcats. Vito High on defense for Jacksonville.
Tristan Smith over to Max Clemens, puts up the three off the rim, rebounded by Ryan McCowan. Over to Kamari Gibson, making his way quickly back up the court. Now slowing it down a little bit, gets it over to Vito High, inside to Jermaine Taylor, over to Jaden Boyd, back to Vito. Vito looking back to Jaden Boyd, up for three. That one's off the rim, rebounded by Max Clemens.
He brings the ball ahead for Whitehouse. Able to get into the lane, tries to put a shot up, but Vito High is having exactly none of it. Inside of 2 minutes here from John Alexander Gymnasium, your score is Jacksonville 49 and Whitehouse 32. Jacksonville attempting to force an extra game on the schedule before the playoff starts. If Jacksonville wins tonight and Lufkin wins tonight, they will play from this gym on Friday, and winner take the district championship.
Shot from Keller Smith off the rim, rebounded by Vito High.
That pass intercepted
by Tristan Smith, who takes the three off the rim.
Spoon gets it ahead to Vito, goes for the dunk, can't finish.
To Carlton Wilson, working his way up the court for Whitehouse. Over to Tristan Smith, broken up by Calvin Bryant, but it looks like that will be another foul on Calvin Bryant, and that'll bring him to 5.
Spooney picks up his 5th foul there, and he's going to have a seat as Devarian Boyd comes in for Jacksonville. That might be the last time we see Calvin tonight.
Calvin Bryant fouling out tonight.
Kamari Gibson brings the ball ahead for Jacksonville, gets it over to Vito High, back to Jaden Boyd, back to Vito, and back to Kamari in the corner.
For three, a little short there. Keller Smith gets the rebound.
Pulls up from 3. It's also
rim.
short.
Jaden Boyd trying to get the rebound, hits it out of bounds. It'll be Whitehouse ball. 49-32 Jacksonville. 1:02 left here in the ball game. To Carlton Wilson, set to inbound the ball for Whitehouse. Gets it into Dylan Acker. Back to Wilson, guarded by Kamari Gibson. Over to Keller Smith, who puts up the three, and it is in. Vito High bringing the ball up the court here for the Indians. And with 40 seconds left here, Jacksonville looking to run this one out.
Whitehouse applies a little bit of pressure, gets it over to Kamari Gibson. Looks like Jacksonville may be content to just play catch and run the clock out. Devarian Boyd with the ball, gets it over to Ryan McCowan. Cross-court pass Kamari Gibson. We're inside of 15 seconds.
Vito High with the ball. Gets it over to Devarian Boyd. Back Kamari Gibson. Back to Boyd. And
That will do it.
Here, from here at John Alexander Gymnasium. Indians take down the Wildcats 49-35.
Vito High with the exclamation point after the buzzer. The windmill dunk capping off senior night here from John Alexander Gymnasium as Jacksonville gets the win 49-35. Depending on the outcome of the Lufkin game tonight, Jacksonville may just be right back here this Friday. If that's the case, we'll bring it to you live here on JISDlive.com. Once again, thanks for joining us. On behalf of Jacksonville Independent School District, Ryan Travis, and the students in the audio-video production program at Jacksonville High School, I would like to say thank you and enjoy your evening.